Have you ever noticed how some topics just linger in the back of our minds? Things we might wonder about but hesitate to bring up, even with our doctors? Maybe you've thought, is this normal at my age? Or should I still be feeling this way? Well, today we're going to talk about one of those topics. It's something natural, healthy, and surprisingly important for seniors. But it's rarely discussed openly. And that's the role of self-care, yes, including masturbation, in our overall well-being as we age. Now, I know that word might make some of us blush, but stick with me. This isn't about sensationalism or awkwardness. It's about health. I recently sat down with a urologist who shared some eye-opening insights about why staying physically and emotionally connected to our bodies matters more than ever in our later years. And trust me, what they had to say might just change how you think about aging. Let's start by addressing the elephant in the room. As we get older, our bodies change. Our energy levels, our hormones, even how we experience intimacy. But here's the thing. Our need for self-care doesn't retire with us. In fact, maintaining a connection with our bodies can play a big role in keeping us healthy, both physically and mentally. And that's where masturbation comes in. First, let's talk about circulation. You've probably heard how important it is to keep the blood flowing as we age. Walking, stretching, staying active. But did you know that sexual arousal, even when it's solo, gets your heart pumping in a unique way? It's like a mini workout for your cardiovascular system. The urologist I spoke to put it this way. Think of it as keeping the pipes clean. For men, regular ejaculation can help maintain prostate health, reducing the risk of issues down the line. And for women, it promotes pelvic floor strength, which is crucial for bladder control and overall comfort. But it's not just about the body. Let's talk about the mind. Many of us experience loneliness or stress as we age. Maybe we've lost a partner or our social circles have changed. Masturbation releases endorphins, those feel-good chemicals that lift our mood and ease tension. It's a way to reconnect with yourself, to remember that pleasure and joy aren't just for the young. One patient in her 70s told the urologist, "It's like giving myself a hug when no one else is around." Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but what if it's uncomfortable? What if my body doesn't respond the way it used to? That's completely normal. Aging brings changes. Dryness for women, slower arousal for men. But here's the good news. There are simple, practical solutions. Water-based lubricants, taking your time, even talking to your doctor about safe options if you need them. The key is to be patient with yourself. This isn't about performance. It's about connection. And finally, let's not forget sleep. How many of us toss and turn at night wishing for a solid 8 hours? That same release of endorphins I mentioned earlier, it also helps you relax. Think of it like a warm bath or a cup of chamomile tea. One gentleman in his late 60s shared with me, "I've struggled with insomnia for years, but on the nights I take a little time for myself, I drift off faster and sleep deeper. It's been a game changer." Now, I know this is a lot to take in. Maybe you're nodding along, or maybe you're still on the fence. That's okay. The important thing is to start the conversation with yourself, with your doctor, or even with a trusted friend. Because taking care of your body isn't just about pills and checkups. It's about embracing all the ways we stay vibrant, curious, and alive at every age. So, if you've been sidelining this part of your life, whether out of habit, shyness, or uncertainty, I want you to know it's never too late to prioritize your well-being. And in our next conversation, we'll dive even deeper into how to make these practices work for you, no matter your starting point. Here's to honoring every part of who you are, body, mind, and spirit, because you deserve that care today and always. In our last conversation, we talked about how staying connected to our bodies can be as simple and as powerful as giving ourselves permission to enjoy being in our own skin. But let's be honest, even when we know something is good for us, it's not always easy to take that first step. Maybe there's a voice in your head saying, "Isn't this selfish?" Or, "What would people think if they knew?" You're not alone. Many of us grew up in a time when topics like masturbation were whispered about, if they were discussed at all. I've heard from so many viewers who say things like, "I feel guilty, like I'm doing something wrong," or, "At my age, shouldn't I have outgrown this?" Let's tackle that head on today, because here's the truth. Self-care is never selfish. It's an act of respect, a way to honor the body that's carried you through decades of life. Let's start with the emotional side of things. One of the biggest hurdles isn't physical, it's the stories we tell ourselves. Maybe you've internalized messages that pleasure is indulgent or frivolous after a certain age. But think about it. When you take time to read a book, garden, or call a loved one, no one bats an eye. Why should this be any different? As the urologist reminded me, sexual health is health, period. It's not a luxury, it's part of being human. A patient named Margaret, 78, shared something that stuck with me. She said, "After my husband passed, I felt like that part of me died too. But one day, I realized, why should I stop celebrating my body just because I'm alone?" She started small, lighting a candle, playing her favorite music, letting go of the shoulds. It didn't happen overnight, but slowly she reclaimed a sense of joy she thought she'd lost. "It's not about replacing someone," she said. "It's about remembering I'm still here, still alive." Now, let's talk about the practical side. Our bodies change as we age, and that's okay. For women, vaginal dryness can make things uncomfortable. But that's where lubricants come in. Look for water-based options without harsh chemicals. Many are even available at your local pharmacy. And gentlemen, if arousal takes longer than it used to, that's normal. Try focusing on the journey, not the destination. As one urologist put it, slow down. This isn't a race. It's a stroll through your favorite park. Mobility can be another concern. Arthritis, stiff joints, or chronic pain might make certain positions tricky. But here's a tip. Pillows are your best friend. Prop them under your knees, lower back, or wherever you need support. And don't be afraid to get creative. One gentleman in his 70s told me he uses a heated blanket to soothe his muscles beforehand. "It's like a warm-up for my whole body," he laughed. The key is to experiment and find what feels good for you. And let's not forget skin sensitivity. As we age, our skin becomes thinner and more delicate. If you're using lubricants or lotions, opt for fragrance-free products to avoid irritation. A little goes a long way. Gentleness is the name of the game. Think of it like tending to a cherished garden. You nurture it slowly, with care. Now, I know some of you might worry. What if I have a medical condition? Could this be unsafe? That's where your healthcare team comes in. If you had surgeries, take heart medications, or manage chronic illness, have an open chat with your doctor. A good physician won't judge. They'll help you navigate what's safe. For example, pelvic floor therapy can work wonders for both men and women dealing with discomfort. And for those with diabetes or hypertension, studies show that the stress relief from masturbation can actually support your overall health. And yes, I hear you. Talking to your doctor about this might feel awkward at first, but remember, they've heard it all. Start with something simple like, I've been reading about sexual health for seniors. What should I keep in mind? You'd be surprised how a 5-minute conversation can lift a weight off your shoulders. Finally, let's address something we don't talk about enough: grief and loneliness. Losing a partner or seeing friendships fade can leave a hole in our lives. But your relationship with yourself, that's forever. Masturbation isn't just about physical release. It's a way to reaffirm that you're still here, still worthy of love and attention. A widow in her 80s once told me, "It's my way of saying, I haven't forgotten you," to myself. So if guilt or shame creeps in, pause and ask yourself, would I judge a friend for wanting to feel good? Of course not. Extend that same kindness to yourself. And if old beliefs about morality or appropriateness resurface, remind yourself, health is never shameful. You're not hurting anyone. You're simply nurturing your body and spirit the same way you'd water a plant or feed a hungry heart with good company. This journey isn't about perfection. It's about curiosity, patience, and treating yourself. Over these conversations, we've explored how caring for ourselves, body and soul, isn't just about adding years to our lives, but life to our years. And as we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought. What if this practice isn't just about you, but about the ripple effect it creates in every corner of your world? Let's talk about relationships. Whether you're single, partnered, or somewhere in between, nurturing your own well-being can transform how you connect with others. Take my friend Carl, for instance. At 72, he admitted he'd felt distant from his wife for years, until he started prioritizing his own self-care. It wasn't about her, he said. It was about me showing up as my best self again. By reconnecting with his own body, he found patience, presence, and even playfulness he'd thought were long gone. And for those of us flying solo, this isn't about filling the void. It's about celebrating your independence. One viewer, Helen, 68, wrote to me saying, "After my divorce, I felt invisible, but taking time for myself, truly for myself, reminded me I'm still the protagonist of my own story." Isn't that beautiful? When we honor our needs, we send a quiet message to the world, I matter. And that confidence, it shines through in every conversation, every laugh, every moment we share with others. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, societal stigma. We've all heard the jokes. Aren't you too old for that? Or worse, the assumption that seniors are done with desire. But here's the truth. Your vitality isn't defined by a number. A urologist I spoke to said, the patients who thrive longest are the ones who refuse to let society write their story. So the next time someone implies you should act your age, smile and think, I am, vibrantly, thank you very much. And let's not forget the long game. Studies show that seniors who stay physically and emotionally engaged tend to maintain sharper minds, stronger immune systems, and even greater independence. Think of masturbation as part of your wellness toolkit, like eating your veggies or taking a daily walk. It's not a magic pill, but it's one more way to keep your body systems humming along. As one 85-year-old marathon runner told me, you don't stop running because you get old. You get old because you stop running. The same applies here. If there's one thing I hope you take from our time together, it's this. Aging isn't about loss. It's about reinvention. Maybe your body doesn't move like it once did, but it's still your lifelong companion, worthy of curiosity, kindness, and yes, even joy. So, if you've been hesitating, start small. Light a candle. Put on a song that makes your soul sway. Take 5 minutes to simply breathe and be present with yourself. There's no right way to do this, only your way. Before we say goodbye, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below sharing your thoughts, questions, or even a story of your own. Let's keep this conversation going, because the more we talk openly, the more we give others permission to do the same. And if this resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're here to navigate this journey together, one honest chat at a time. Here's to rewriting the script on aging, to embracing every chapter with courage, humor, and the quiet knowledge that the best moments aren't behind us. They're within us. Thank you for trusting me with your time. Now go out there and live like the masterpiece you are.